I finally finished the 500 listing challenge for 2022, and I think I failed. Welcome back to Quarter Flips, or welcome if it's your first time. I'm Dave. This is my channel. This is my report on my 500 listing challenge for 2022. If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on these things. You really don't. Okay, here's the thing. I finished it. I finished the challenge. It's done. I'm very happy that it's done. And the only thing that's going to happen now is I'm just going to keep listing stuff and selling stuff, but I'm not going to be keeping track of it and making videos about it this way. Hold on a second. I have information. 2 pages of information for this video. So yeah, I'm going to tell you why it is that I think that I failed. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to give you a breakdown of how this thing went down with all the numbers, how it compared to last year, tell you why I think I failed, and then tell you what I learned and how those things might be helpful to me going forward. They might be helpful to you with your reselling, or I don't know, life in general. We'll see. I doubt it. Let's take a look at the numbers. Here's where we were last time. In the end, I had 290 things on Discogs, 210 things on eBay, 500 total listed, and in the end, the total listed value, gross value of things, was $9,030.79. That makes for an average gross sale price for items that I listed in this challenge of $18.06. Now, in 2021, when I did this, my average gross sales price per item was $11.33. So I did quite a bit better. It was like $3,500 more worth of items got listed this time, give or take. So it did pretty well. And the other thing about the 9,000 something that went up, that's the money that I'll be getting from it. Maybe 100 of the items that I listed were items that I'm selling 50-50 for people that I know. Sold a couple of music collections, or I'm in the process of selling a couple of music collections, and I'm splitting up that money. So this money that I put up only represents the money I'll be getting out of the deal. So I really did list a bit more than this, but I didn't keep track of it that way. So yeah, anyway, but this was a failure. It's more money. My average price was up, but the reason why it was a failure is because it took me 60 days to do this. I'll get more into the numbers of why that's not good, but 60 days to do this is not even 10 items per day. It's 8.333 items per day, 8.33, let's call it. That, yeah, you should do more than that. They say you should list 10 items a day. And I really set out to do that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a good number if you figure that I took the weekends off. I didn't take weekends off, but I just had other things that came up halfway through this challenge. Some challenges from life presented themselves and got in my way, so I couldn't devote the amount of time I wanted to. And then after it was like, from 45 days on, a lot of it was just that I was lazy and tired of it. That's true sometimes too. Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes it is. Yeah. So I'll take a quarter of the blame for all of the blame that I deserve for this. Okay. What else can I say about it? Well, I didn't get 10 items a day, so I didn't get this stuff up as fast as I wanted to. I still did get it all up, and it's a good amount of money to have up on eBay and Discogs. And I had said I wanted to get over 1,000 listings on Discogs and over 700 listings on eBay when this thing was done. Well, I succeeded with Discogs. I now, as I make this video, have 1,020 items listed on Discogs. And with eBay, I got close. 685 things listed as of today. And the problem with that was it just kept selling. Things kept selling pretty fast. Like, I have an eBay store. I can list 1,000 things for the price I pay for the store. I've only got 685 listed right now. I need that other 315 to use up the full value of my store, but it's hard to get that much stuff up. Eventually I will. I keep going and some things will sit. That's another thing I learned from this, but we'll get to that in a minute. But when I get to 1,000, then it'll be a situation where I'll start looking at the cheaper items and things that haven't sold, blowing those out at a sale price or just taking them down altogether so I can utilize my 1,000 listings as best as I can and get the highest value things up there. Not there yet, but I will get there. maybe next year's challenge. I don't think there's going to be another one of these challenges next year. Okay, the failure part. With this 8.33 items per day that I did get listed, if I had gotten 10 items per day in that same amount of time, that means I would have listed 1.66 more items per day across 60 days. I have the numbers here. That means that at my average for this challenge, I would have had 100 more items up, and they would have been worth $1,806 more. I'd have that much more earning potential sitting up there right now. And maybe that's not a big deal. I mean, I didn't really lose it. I still had the time, you know, I went on with my life. I can't think to myself that every day in my life that I didn't list 10 items on eBay, I've lost that money. I keep telling myself that. Let's say I was to extrapolate that out for an entire year. That 1.666 items for 365 days, that's 608 items that don't get listed with a potential value of $10,980.48. So, if I continue at the exact same listing rate that I listed for this challenge, I will miss out on almost $1,100 worth of things. No, no. $11,000 worth of things that I could get put up if only I were to just list a little faster, be a little more responsible. I'm really beating up on myself here. I did what I could and it was fine. And that doesn't take into account that I could do these exact same numbers with the 8.33 that I did put up, and it's much, much larger. So I'm happy. Everything's going fine. But look, think about that though. Think about that little bit, just that 1.66 item per day extrapolated out. Do this math. Let's say you listed one item per day, just that you were going to get $5 for. After all the fees and taxes and everything that came out of your item, after it sold, $5. One per day. What, you just get up, take some photos, get those photos ready, write a title, write your auction description, find out what it weighs, choose a price and a shipping option, get it up on eBay. First thing in the morning, go to work, go do whatever you're going to do with the day. Do that every day for a year. 5 times 365. I'm not going to do the math in my head, and I just thought of this now, so I didn't have it written down on my paper, but it's kind of like a nice bonus check. I'll do that times 10, and it's kind of like a job. So, anyway, that's the fail. Should have got it done faster. Still am happy it's done. What did I learn from it, though? I did learn some stuff. As I went through this challenge, I got kind of obsessively focused on listing higher dollar items. So I might have items that I could have listed fast and got the challenge done sooner, but I knew they were going to bring the average price down. I'd have more complicated items that were going to take me longer to list and get ready to go and burn me out more, but I knew they were going to keep the average total up. This skewing of the numbers automatically, just by my own obsession about it, happened. That's part of the reason why my average price was higher. I could have done this faster, but had a lower per item price, that listed value. So halfway through this thing, I started looking at things entirely differently. Even when I went shopping with Tanya, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that. It's only gonna sell for $8. Like, I really, it just changed your mindset, which is probably good. You start getting a money mindset about making more money, and then you can make this into a thing that, you know, you can actually make some bucks at and maybe live off of. So that was interesting. I think I had a similar experience last year, but last year I listed, here's the other thing I learned. A lot of the stuff that I listed last year is still up. And a lot of that stuff that is still up are VHS tapes. VHS auctions, it's terrible. I'm not messing with VHS anymore. Like, if I get an opportunity to get that cool collectible horror stuff that people look for, cool VHS videotapes, I'll still mess with. But the idea of buying a lot and hoping that you could lock them up, like, here's 12 Tom Hanks movies, that's not worth the time or the space that it takes up in your storage. I have boxes of VHS here that I am going to blow out the door. I don't want to deal with it anymore. It sucks. So that's something I learned from this, is that in looking at this year's challenge and looking at last year's challenge, so much of last year's challenge is still sitting on my books in my inventory, and I need it to go. But what did I learn that was good? CDs. CDs are good. Now, here's what I mean by that. I've been selling CDs all the last year and posting them in my What Sold videos. And some of those CDs, I've sold CDs for like 250 bucks. I've sold a number of CDs between $30 and $100 that I've showed. But that's not the majority of them. That's just outliers. When I get a collection and I pull all those good CDs out, I'm left with a collection of CDs that maybe they all sell between $3 and $5 a piece on Discogs or eBay, however you want to list them. And they don't seem like it's a good use of your time. And you sell one, you got to pack it up, ship it. It's a hassle, right? Lock them up together. Let's say I've got a pile of Modest Mouse CDs or a whole bunch of like from the same punk band or same hardcore band or indie rock band. In the last week, I've sold CD lots from Coldplay, Rocket from the Crypt, Minus the Bear, Modest Mouse, Aphex Twin. There's more. White Stripes? Maybe White Stripes. I put up these lots, putting the CDs in the lots, describing them very simply. Just take a picture of the pile of it where they can see each CD that's in there. And then maybe a couple of them have scratches. You say, hey, these couple have scratches, but they're in a lot of CDs and most of them don't. And you put them in there and yeah, you kind of like figure out, okay, if I sold all these CDs at $3 or $4 a piece, I'd get this much. Extrapolate that price out, put it up, and lo and behold, someone buys the lot of CDs and then it's worth packing them up and shipping them and you get a decent price for them. So CD lots, yeah, I'm going to be looking into that more. If I find good CD deals where someone has a collection with a lot of the same band and it's obvious it's a band or an artist that people like, I'm going to snatch those up when I can. And that might be something that you want to look at. I don't know. I like music. I love selling vinyl. I didn't learn anything about vinyl other than vinyl is awesome to sell. So, but yeah, CDs were surprising. CD lots specifically were surprising. So what else did I learn? I need to be more careful about what I buy because going through and finding stuff in my death pile to list, I keep finding stuff that has some value, but I don't want to list it. A lot of times, I think I knew when I bought it that I didn't want to list it. It was going to be complicated. I had to maybe check if it was a game or something. I've got stuff like this around that I bought at a garage sale. Here's a game I bought at a garage sale. Probe, it was $2. I don't know if this is complete. It's a cool old board game, like original version, no barcode. It's like from way back in the day, but should I have bought this? I was at a garage sale and I wanted to buy something at the garage sale. I don't think I'm ever going to list this. And I've got a lot of stuff like this. I got a clean house on it. So I'm hoping that one of the lessons, one of the values that I get out of this challenge is to be more careful about what I buy. That should always be something that we try to do. We should be constantly refining. We should be constantly like, I don't know, constantly listing, constantly taking pictures and weighing things and putting them up on eBay in a never-ending cycle. Okay, but I love it, and that's why I do it. And I like making these videos about it too. So that's the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe I left something out. I'm looking at my notes here. I don't see anything that I left out. Let's go over it again real quick. No, that's it. So I'll get back to shopping, maybe. I'll get back to making some videos. We're going into the winter. It's not like there's going to be any garage sales up here, but there's probably going to be estate sales. And I really want to start getting into the Goodwill bins, but that hasn't been on the table yet. And I haven't cleaned out. Remember I said in the early video, the first video of this, that I wanted to clear out space? It's not cleared out. I listed 500 items and did not really gain much in the way of space. I probably have another good 500 listings before I impact the space. So I'm going to go get started on that right now. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll be back with a new video soon. Thank you. I appreciate you.